So, another bad post-game interview from Christie Sides. Another time at the end of a game trying to throw Caitlin Clark, who, again, I'll say it, any of the big four on any of their given days can be the best player on this team. I think, depending on the day, it could be Aaliyah Boston, it could be Caitlin Clark, it could be Alyssa Smith, or it could be Kelsey Mitchell. I think yesterday, three of those four had horrendous games. I think Caitlin Clark had a decent game. Not a brilliant game, but she had a decent game. But Christie Sides continues to throw her under the bus. And as always, if you guys think Christie Sides should be fired, please subscribe to this channel. If we could... We're not going to hit 14k by the end of the day, but like, imagine if we could. Imagine if we managed to hit 14k by the end of the day. That would be absolutely insane. Huge thank you guys for all supporting the channel recently. And also, leave a like if you guys agree with what I'm saying in this video. If you guys disagree, leave in the comment section. At the end of the day, it's basketball. We're not going to all agree. And as long as things don't get absolutely personal, then, yeah, comment section's all good. But Christie Sides is out here after the game saying she needs to shoot a minimum of 15 shots. Talking about how Caitlin Clark needs to be more aggressive. Clark scored a team high of 15 points. Clark, oh, screw you, Athletic. Screw you, the Athletic. I'm not paying for you. I'm not paying. It's the New York Times. Can't even look at New York Times. Let's hope this works here. Let's hope this site works here. She sets a new boundary. It says here, finish game 15 points. Caitlin Clark needs to shoot minimum 15 shots a game first. She's got to get shots. We got to do a better job of setting her up and really getting some good screens for her to get open. Side said after the game. So, I'm not going to lie. If you guys don't understand what is happening in the game right now, she's only taken 15 shots in 6 games this season, and a lot of them were at the start of the year. So, if you guys don't know the way she's being defended, it's really, really hard, the way she's being defended, for her to get shots without running some sort of a, like, actual, like, freelance offense. And ironically, more so than anything, it's not necessarily a case where that she as a... And this is the one thing I really, really hate about Christie Sides as a coach. There is nothing to, let's try free up one person to free up somebody else. Let's set a screen to try free up yourself. Like getting Caitlin Clark in more actions off the ball. And I know obviously that's not what she did at Iowa. But if you want to get Caitlin Clark in that half-court set, you've got to do more than put her in the corner and set one single pin down for her. You need to do a job setting good screens. Whether you set good screens or not, it really doesn't matter, because she's not only being followed, she's being followed by her man, and then whoever is setting the screen is hedging every single time, whether it's on ball or off. They're hedging off-ball screens on her. So it's not a case of setting better screens. It is a case of running better sets and finding something out. So I saw this tweet right here, and this actually, ironically, sums up why Caitlin Clark has been struggling to shoot. And like, you cannot shoot out of these situations. It says here, all the Caitlin Clark fans blame Christie Sides, saying she needs to draw plays. Caitlin Clark has the ball in her hands. She starts to play, gets double, pass out of it, and then starts backing up. Let's watch this play right here. So, Caitlin Clark runs there on the break. She can't go right because Whitcomb's there. Whitcomb's there, not in any sort of denial. She's going to allow the pass to Wheeler happen. And as well as Mag Bagor is there on the left right now. So she can't go downhill right or left. If she goes downhill right or left, there's help on both sides. So what she does, she pulls it up. She pulls it up on Jewel Lloyd. Let's go. Let's set the play. Temi Fagbenle goes down there. And let's see, from the time she decides to set up the play right here, like a good team, like for example, 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns, what she would have done, instead of just dribble down the middle floor aimlessly, let's just say this was Steve Nash, she would have ran down the right-hand side of the floor, and you would have had Temi Fagbenle trailing the play on the right side, or in Alyssa Smith coming over to this side to set that screen. So what would have happened was that she would have dribbled to this side of the floor. Temi, instead of trailing aimlessly, could have trailed into a pick and roll, and you've gone into an action 3 or 4 seconds earlier. So you're watching. She's kind of aimlessly dribbling, and there is, I'm going to count before anyone does anything. By the time she decides to pull back and set up the play, I'm going to count the amount of seconds before anyone on the team does anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There was 9 seconds before anyone did anything. And then we're still at 11 seconds into the half-court offense, and all that you have got out of it here is an Alyssa Smith screen at the halfway line. This action could have been got to 9 seconds earlier had Temi Fagbenle, had there been some sort of a system where she's going to dribble down the floor on one side and Temi's going to set the screen, or she's going to trail into the screen. You could have gotten the exact same action 9 seconds earlier. But no, but you're going to see how this play ends. So watch how this play ends here. So, Caitlin Clark refuses the screen. Cool. What does Alyssa Smith do in this scenario? So Jewel Lloyd, again, Jewel Lloyd is refusing the screen. Magbagor is standing completely on one side of the floor. The only you can see Wickham is playing up to stop the drive, and Neko Wumake is here because obviously Temi Fagbenle is under the basket. There's one player on the left-hand side of the floor, and it's Skylar Diggins-Smith. So what do you think Alyssa Smith does? Does she, A, cut to the basket? If she cuts to the basket, it means one of three things has to happen. One, if she rolls hard, Neko Wumake has to step in. Neko Wumake has to step in here, and Caitlin Clark, if she's able to get to this position right here, has a wide open Temi Fagbenle under the basket. And that's if Wickham doesn't drop in. If Wickham drops in, she's got a wide open shooter in the corner. If she cuts in and Skylar Diggins-Smith goes to here, it's a tough pass, but you see this what the passes that she's good at throwing is through the screens or these kind of loopy passes. It means that if she cuts and Skylar Diggins-Smith helps in, Lexi Hull can lift and Lexi Hull's going to be wide open. Or if she even goes to a short roll, does she do A, cut, leaving that? Does she B, go into a kind of short roll position where you can see the gap for that pass to be thrown is this angle right here? Does she go into this position right here, catching the ball downhill so she can take one dribble, forcing Neko Wumake to step in, Temi to drop, either going to be a corner shooter, or you're going downhill at a defender where a foul is likely to be drawn, or again, Skylar Diggins-Smith comes in and you kick to the corner. Or C, does she just chill where she's standing right now? Caitlin Clark has to hit her with the pass here, and by the time she's able to make a decision, Magbagor is able to recover from here to here. What do you think is going to happen? So we're in this position right here. Look at this scenario right here. All she has to do is be here. If she's here, if Alyssa Smith is here, the entire play opens up. But she's standing in a position where she's a non-threat. Even if she's standing at the top of the three-point line, she's a threat to shoot the ball off the catch. Her release is so slow that not really. But she's a non-threat right here. And all that her in this position allows her to do is take the gravity of 4 people staring at Caitlin Clark. You know the way everyone talks about help defense, seeing the ball on the man? Anyone who's played any sort of basketball, seeing the ball on the man. Magbagor, Jewel Lloyd, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Neko Wumake, and Wickham. None of them are looking at their man. They're all staring at the ball. She's passing the ball, and they're still all staring at the ball. And then what happens? Magbagor is able to recover. We're now late in the shot clock because no one did anything. Everyone stood around and watched, so you've got no actions. And now you're late in the shot clock. You've got Lexi Hull trying to go ISO for some reason, and the shot clock ends with Erica Wheeler pulling up from 35 feet. Or from 40 feet. But again, Caitlin Clark's fault. And by the way, this isn't on none of the individuals. This is clearly what they're being told because Alyssa Smith not even in the short roll, standing in no man's land, is what they all do off that. Next possession right here. In fairness, Temi Fagbenle does it. Aaliyah Boston trailing the play. Look, she's not a good screen setter, but she at least gets her body in the way to force the defender into doing something. So, the defender has to come off that. What happens here is that you can see is a Mercedes Russell guarding Caitlin Clark here. What Caitlin Clark realistically should have done, because you can see they've Magbagor planted under the basket. Caitlin Clark because of where Russell is, she should have taken a bit of a better angle. Instead of going downhill at Russell here, probably should have went into maybe this position here to give Aaliyah Boston more space on the roll. But at the end of the day, Aaliyah Boston could roll a little bit harder. So what happens here is that she kind of walks a little bit too close to the center. If she was in this position right here, you would have had Russell step over. But you can see right now, Magbagor just planted under the basket. Jewel Lloyd is not guarding the corner. Jewel Lloyd is guarding the drive. So, in a good situation, she's at least going downhill. Caitlin Clark gets into a position, splits the team. By the way, this is terrible blitz by Russell right here. And Caitlin Clark is able to split it right there. The ball gets to Aaliyah Boston right here. How, in God's name, can you say that this is a bad Like, this is how is the team not getting a score off this play, or at least a decent shot off this play, Caitlin Clark's fault? How is getting your all-star center going downhill to the basket? I get it, it's not her game, but how is getting an all-star going downhill to the basket with her player on the opposite side of the floor a bad look? All she has to do is drive hard to the basket and draw a foul off Magbegor or something. Force Magbegor into doing something. What happens here? Or you know what? Like, if she had a dribble pull-up, it is what it is. Drives as slowly as possible. She puts the ball on the floor. Like, that's a walk. That is not a run. That is not an aggressive drive. That is putting the ball on the floor. And now, you're still in a position here, by the way, where it's kind of annoying, because if this is Angel Reese where Temi Fagbenle is, if you see where Magbegor is, Angel Reese is reading that play, standing under Magbegor and sealing. So what has happened now is Magbegor is able to step up right here. If that is Angel Reese has a seal there and has a layup. And first of all, look, Temi's wide open. I get it, you can't really throw lobs in WNBA, but like, Temi is wide open and Leah Boston shoots an off-balance mid-range shot. The action of Caitlin Clark drawing the double team and forcing the defense to scramble has gotten one a wide open shot, two wide open opportunities. What ends up happening is Russell's able to recover, whereas again, if that's Angel Reese has a seal. Angel Reese would have had the offensive board if that was her. A brick, Aaliyah Boston gets the offensive board, and then they lose the ball. Explain to me how this is a bad look. Like, explain to me how, one, Caitlin Clark should have shot the ball in this possession, or two, that she hasn't created an open opportunity for her teammates. This possession right here, Caitlin Clark refused the screen. They guard, like, again, she refused the screen because Skylar Diggins-Smith is icing the screen. They're icing every single screen right here. And that's the right way to do it. Don't let her go left. Don't let her shoot. They're icing the screens. So, what happens now here is that a 37% three-point shooter is wide the F open at the three-point line. Instead of shooting the ball, because Jewel Lloyd knows she's not going to shoot the ball, Jewel Lloyd jumps the passing lane. Because they know that their teammates, they know that nobody on this team knows how to react. They know nobody knows how to react. This possession right here. So, she's dribbling out the three-point line. She gets a screen from Temi Fagbenle, who just, I don't know what happens here. Temi Fagbenle is 10 feet away before she decides to roll. In fairness, actually, like, you could have gotten something better off the pick and roll, but this is a set play for Alyssa Smith. So what happens here? Lexi Hull sets the screen for Alyssa Smith. They switch it. And they don't even notice if we switch it. You can see Jewel Lloyd's not even looking, because Jewel Lloyd is staring at the ball. And then eventually, Jewel Lloyd, not knowing where Alyssa Smith is, allowed Alyssa Smith to get post positioning. And I will say, this is on Caitlin. This one is on Caitlin right here, because you can very clearly see Neko Umake there. And obviously goes right into the double team. That's a foul, by the way. Neko reaches around her back, but it is what it is. So, these four plays right here are apparently Caitlin Clark being less aggressive. I want you to explain to me where Caitlin Clark could have shot the ball in these scenarios. I genuinely want you to explain to me where Caitlin Clark should have shot the ball. And this is what I like to say is the biggest problem with Christie Sides. And it's what I wanted to show in the video yesterday. I'll take the copyright claim just to actually show my point. She's being set up to fail. She is being told she needs to shoot the ball 15 times. How? Explain to me how. Your completely lack of any creativity pin down plays are only going to free her up for one specific shot, and it's a 30-foot fadeaway. If you want Caitlin Clark to shoot 15 30-foot fadeaways, cool. But you've got to put Caitlin Clark in a position where she's actually able to get something in the rhythm of an offense. You don't have an offense. You don't even have any, you don't even have a philosophy. You don't even have a philosophy on what to do off double teams. You are literally like, okay, yeah, we're going to set you a screen going, right, Caitlin, you're going to draw the double team. You're going to pass it to somebody else. We're not going to put you in any situations to go downhill. We're not going to put you in any situations where the team is in a position to succeed. So if the others are scoring, you're going to be open because they're not going to be able to put you in single coverage. The only way Caitlin Clark is getting 15 shots a game is if she goes fully Eureka and starts shooting ISO step back 35-footers. Because in her defense, she's not the greatest isolation scorer. She's not. But also, it doesn't even matter. She could be the greatest isolation scorer in history when all five help side defenders are keying in on the ball. And as a coach, you don't even have, and it's not even about the sets at this stage, because she's going to put in random sets. She can probably look at YouTube tutorials and put in some sets to get Caitlin Clark free. At the end of the day, They don't have a philosophy on how to play as a team. The team doesn't know how to play with each other. They look lost. They look like a bunch of players. They always do, by the way. Like, this is a talented group of players. I'm not going to knock Aaliyah Boston's basketball ability because Aaliyah Boston's really good. I'm not going to knock Tammy Fagbenley. I'm not going to knock Alyssa Smith's offensive ability. I'm not going to knock Kelsey Mitchell's a gunner. You're going to get the good with the bad with her. So that is the thing. This is a supremely talented team. They don't have a philosophy. They don't know how to play with each other. They look lost out there. When Caitlin Clark passes the ball up, she gets face guarded, and not only face guarded, they still put more focus on Caitlin Clark standing off the ball. If Caitlin Clark is standing in the corner, she gets more focus than the ball. So there's no scenario. Like what her being saying, we need Caitlin Clark to shoot 15 shots a game. This is in reality. If this is a competent coach, this is what she should have said. Like, and this, you know what? She can take some heat. Not just say random stuff like we need to get Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark needs to shoot more. Keeping throwing her under the bus. This is reality. This is the reality of the situation. Caitlin Clark is drawing gravity from multiple players on the other team. We need to draw up sets to take advantage of that, to allow her to... Or we need to draw up sets. We need to take advantage of that. So it means that teams have to put her in single coverage, and then we can get Caitlin Clark better looks and continue to get her scoring. Right now, Caitlin's not shooting too many shots. She's not scoring. But the fact is that the gravity she's drawing means that if she is to shoot the ball, they're bad shots. We need to do a better job of using her gravity, of getting players cutting, getting off-ball movement, and using the fact she draws 2-3 players to get better looks for the rest of the team. I'm confident in the rest of the team hitting their shots, and once we're getting open shots for the rest of them, and they're hitting shots, once our team is rolling, we're going to get Caitlin Clark better. We're going to get Caitlin better looks, and she's going to average more points. But it's on me to get everybody else free to make sure our team scores the most points. Because in reality, Caitlin Clark shooting 15 shots yesterday wouldn't have changed a lick in that game. It would not have changed a lick. She would have, if she was shooting 15 more shots. I don't think, other than on the fast break with Temi, where she kind of went for the loop around and there was a miscommunication, where she could have pulled up for a fast break 3. And like, look, a fast break 3 is not even a great shot in the basketball, but it's a better shot than most when it's Caitlin Clark. But Caitlin Clark would have shot, every single shot Caitlin Clark passed up would have been a contested 35-footer. Her teammates don't necessarily look to get her back the ball, but at the same time, they don't look to get her back the ball because she's being denied and sometimes double denied. The reality is situation is that she is completely incompetent. She's completely out of her depth. She doesn't know what she's saying. She's now just saying whatever the hell she thinks the public want to hear. In reality, Caitlin Clark is not going to just go out there and start chucking dumb shots. She's not a shot chucker. As many shots she shot in Iowa. Like, if Caitlin Clark's open anywhere in the half court, she'll shoot it. The problem is that she takes the entire team's game plan is just a game plan for Caitlin, and they know if we double team, triple team Caitlin, the rest of the team can't beat us. It is on Christie Sides, in reality, to draw up some plays, to have a philosophy, so that if you're triple teaming Caitlin, the rest of the team will beat them. Will beat you guys. That is the only thing Christie Sides can do, and the problem is that she's not competent enough to realize it.